Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Welcome to Brilliant Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. I am your host, Mark Stephen Pooler. We have a wonderful show today. Celia Louise, stay tuned for a really interesting conversation. I just want to make an official shout out to our show sponsors, Dreamweaver Artist Ranch. We are streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. We're also on the E360 TV network under Fresh Takes, going out to Apple TV, Fire TV, Android TV, Roku, and many more. We're also on Business Innovators Radio Network, and we're also streaming on mspnewsglobal.com. Let's bring in our incredible guest, Celia Louise. Celia, welcome to Brilliance Business TV.
Thank you very much, Mark. I'm really excited to be here with you today.
I'm really looking forward to a great conversation with you today, Celia. So let's get started. My first question, Celia, how did you get into doing the work that you do?
Yep, that's an interesting thing because I did not start out doing this work. I originally, used to teach farming and organic farming, and then I moved to working in the international humanitarian field. But at a certain point, it hit me what happened to my mother and what I witnessed in many of my friends, and I call it the smart woman affliction. And all of a sudden, people just lose their joy for life. My mom, when I was a young kid, was the most beautiful, happiest, fun mom on the block. I was so proud to be her daughter. And I used to laugh that she spent my early years, shopping. My formative years were spent shopping. And she filled our house with beautiful things. But I realized that was her cover up for her being unfulfilled in life. And she grew up in a time when women couldn't fulfill themselves as much as we can now. But this problem still happens. And when I was 12, I noticed that she was drinking. And I lost, over a number of years, this beautiful, vibrant woman that was my mother, who, went into university at 16, got her pilot's license right after that. And this was in the 1940s. So it's a long time ago. And then she raised kids, and I watched her get more and more unfulfilled. And I've watched this with my women friends as well, that they lose their joy. And at a certain point, we all have to stop and think, why did we lose it, and how do we get it back?
I hear you. I had a partner that was an alcoholic that I was with for 5 years, Celia, and drink does a lot to a person. It changes their mood. They can get aggressive, and you really see people deteriorate over time as well. So I really understand how you must have felt as well, because it doesn't only affect the person that's an alcoholic, it also affects all the people around them as well. So I really relate to that. How has energy healing changed your life?
It was what really reignited my joy, because there was a certain point in my life where I thought, oh my God, what happened to my mother is now happening to me, and I'm getting sadder and sadder. But I had this knot in my solar plexus, just here. And it started like as a little, tiny, maybe golf ball, baseball size. And it grew into, at a certain point in my 40s, where felt like I had a bowling ball in my stomach. And went to the doctor. Nothing, no I actually had him x-ray it because it hurt so much. And of course, nothing showed up. And I went for energy healing, and I discovered that I was full of all these hidden, trapped emotions that had built up and grown and over the years. And it was the energy healing that shifted and got rid of it. It was like a little ball burst. And all of a sudden, my instincts and my intuition and my joy for life started to come back. It was because it was all blocked by all of these things that I had ignored and hadn't known how to process, because energy healing really works on the unprocessed emotions that we all hold from, blocking them from when we were younger, or not even knowing how to process them.
So I have a question for you, actually, Celia, because to some people, they may not understand energy, but also you mentioned your emotions being blocked. Now, I know I've suffered with trauma over the years, which I have had to overcome. And I'm very big on your belief systems, reprogramming your mind, because your thoughts as well, if you're thinking negative thoughts. So my question is, just explain a little bit what energy actually is and how that works. And also, do you believe in programming your mind, also working with energy as well?
I do. I look at a really holistic way of energy working in our body. And we have to start with the heart. So
Yes.
if you don't heal your heart, there's no amount of mindset work or somatic body work that will work. You'll be stuck somewhere. So you have to take a look. We are these amazing synergistic beings. And when we look at ourselves as a whole, and we look at the fact that we have this beautiful energy channel that runs up our chakra line. And if people aren't familiar with their chakras, there's 7 main chakras that run from your perineum up to your crown. And when the energy is blocked, because our emotions get stuck at certain stages or certain things that happen in our life. And so they can be stuck physically in your body and creating pain. They can be stuck energetically, like mine was. They can be stuck in your heart, because I don't know a soul that hasn't had their heart broken at one point in their life by somebody.
Yes.
It's a real pain, and pain, like emotional pain, can light up the brain the same way physical pain does. So for those of us who were raised on the saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me, so untrue. And I tell you,
I agree.
I that on the playground, but I know now that it's the opposite. The words, the energy, it all gets stuck somewhere and lodged in our body.
I agree. And sometimes when we talk about abuse, I sometimes think emotional abuse can be worse than actual physical abuse. It can be really, really painful and traumatic. So I agree with you totally. What is the meaning of the Champagne Chakra?
So that is the feeling that I discovered in the midst of doing my energy healing and learning how to meditate. I discovered that there is this beautiful bubbly feeling that bubbles up literally from our perineum up through our whole energy center. And this energy center is a physical center that our vagus nerve runs on, but it's also an energy center. And when you're in the Champagne Chakra, you feel that bubbly sense of joy. And this is something that you can do. You can do it physically to get that feeling of bubbles coming up, just to shut your mind off. I have something that I call the secret squeeze, which is just really fun, because I think energy healing and healing of any kind should be a little bit playful and a little bit fun. Because when I went through all of this stuff, I went to talk therapy. I had a doctor who thought I needed to go on antidepressants. And I'm like, none of that sounds very fun. And I want to have fun. So the Champagne Chakra is a fun, playful way to heal anything.
I hear you. You have written about acknowledging your instincts. What does that mean?
I think that we have so far removed ourselves from our natural instincts and our natural intuition because we've been told that we're smarter. We're not part of nature, but really we are part of nature. And when I had that bowling ball in my solar plexus, I couldn't feel my instincts. I couldn't actually tell what was right and what was wrong. And I tried to think my way through everything. And it's why I call this the smart women, and it's also smart men. It's like we try to think our way out of everything, and we forget that we can actually feel our way. Our heart senses what's bad for us full 10 seconds before our brain does. And we can't get that if our instincts are squashed.
And is that listening to that gut feeling? You know, if you're going to do something and you get that gut feeling, you should really listen to that, shouldn't you, Celia?
You should, and so many times we override that.
We do, yes, definitely. Now, you have a chapter coming soon with my good friend Katie in the next book in the Evolving on Purpose series, Co-Creating with the Divine. What can you share with us?
That was the biggest surprise for me, was that we are able to co-create with what I now call the divine. And having been raised in a pretty strict Catholic family, my idea of any divinity, God, aka God, was this white, judgmental, kind of mean guy in the sky. And so I ran from that after I left home. I was like, I couldn't bear how it was taught to me and how it was talked about and how we were considered sinners. And when I went through my sort of spiritual opening and I got back to understanding that we are all connected in this beautiful energy in the world, and we are able to co-create with what I and Katie calls the divine. It's such a beautiful feeling. And what happened is that I broke free of all my beliefs, all the stuff that I had been taught and raised with. And I suddenly felt, oh my God, we are swimming in a sea of energy. And this energy is just filled with love and it's filled with wisdom. And that's the divine.
The divine matrix.
Yes.
Now, I understand you have a passion for the Radiance Sutra Meditation. What does this mean for you?
The Radiance Sutras are this beautiful ancient tantric text. And during COVID, I took a meditation course. I'm a meditation teacher as well. And I spent 6 glorious months learning all about the sutras. And they are so beautiful. If I can read to you just one little stanza from it.
Of course.
And I'll show you the book. This is it, the Radiance Sutras. It's one of the things that I read from every day. And this speaks to me about what the divine really is. And it says, the one who is at play everywhere says, there is a space in the heart where everything meets. Come here if you want to find me. Mind, senses, soul, eternity, all are here. Are you here? Enter the bowl of vastness that is the heart. Listen to the song that is always resonating and give yourself to it with quiet abandon. Quiet ecstasy is here and a steady, regal sense of resting in a perfect spot. You who are the embodiment of blessing, once you know the way, the nature of attention will call you to return. Again and again, answer that call and be saturated with knowing. I belong here. I am at home.
Very nice. I like that, Celia. Now, I understand you have a life motto, be love. Can you explain what this means to you?
Yes. For a long time, I misunderstood what love was. Love was something I would get from other people. I would get it from my parents, maybe from my brother, from my partner, from my families, from my friends. You know, it was something that I would give or I would get. And it was most often couched as a romantic thing. You know, you really want to find the love in life. And then there's this whole self-love movement where you're taught you need to love yourself. But if you're only thinking of it in terms of romantic love, you're kind of missing the mark that I've discovered. And being love is when you step in to the divinity that we each are, stepping into this magical mystery that life is, this sea of love that we're all swimming in and ignoring most often. It is the connection. So being love is being connected to something greater than yourself. And then it's the energy that you put out. So when you walk into a room, the energy that comes first is the energy of love. And this heart energy that we have that's connected to all of this is, 5,000 times stronger than your brain. We have a heart brain that has 40,000 neurons in it that weren't even discovered by scientists until 1991.
Yes.
So we were all raised by people that really put the brain first. But if you put your heart first, that strengthens your whole being. And so when you are anywhere, you are automatically protected, and you are protected by your heart. You don't need to protect your heart. Your heart is protecting you.
And you have to give love to yourself first before you can give love to others. And it's really important to prioritize yourself first as well. And to validate yourself, don't look externally for validation either. Now, Celia, we haven't talked about it a lot. So just share briefly how you serve your clients, how you can serve our audience, and how people can connect with you.
Sure. People can connect with me. I am on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. Everything is Celia Louise. So connect with me on Facebook. Send me a message. I love to chat with people. If you go to my website, which is www.celialouise, you can download a chapter of my book, The Champagne Chakra, which is hanging out behind me in pink, my favorite color. And I have a free chapter there that you can download. You can also book a clarity call. And the two things that I most often do with people, one is a heart healing session. It's a 4-week program where I really help people get past whatever is keeping them from stepping into their radiance and out of their mediocrity. The other thing I do is called Champagne Chakra coaching, and it takes you through your entire chakra system. And those are just two really great ways to shift the energy in your life and to step into the you really want to be.
I would encourage everyone to connect with Celia Louise at celialouise.com. That's celialouise.com. Celia, I thoroughly enjoyed having a conversation with you today. Thank you so much for coming on to the Brilliance Business Show.
Thank you so much, Mark. It's a pleasure to talk with you, and I really appreciate all that you do for everybody in your world.
The pleasure's all mine. Thank you once again. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on Brilliance Business TV, Conversations with Leading
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.